G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to travel from Sanur to Nusa Lembongan Island. We stayed on the island for 4 days and 3 nights. We stayed at mega cottages on the beach and we travelled there via Rocky Fast Boats, one of the many tourist boat companies that will get you there. Pretty soon we're going to have a look around the Sanur Harbour, the ferry terminal. Here we are. We had a bit of time to kill. We had a coffee and something to eat before our boat was due to come in. Checked out these magnificent elephant sculptures or statues, which are very prominent because of their size. There's the actual walk where you get onto a boat, back to the elephant statues. And so pretty soon we were waiting in the room where you monitor the screen to tell you when your boats come in and you're ready to get on it. So it was our time to get onto the boat. And here we are walking down the boardwalk, ready to climb aboard the Rocky Fast Boat. Beautiful day out. The water was full of tropical fish and jellyfish. Our luggage was already on the boat. That was all taken care of by Rocky Fast Boats. And here we are on the actual Rocky Fast Boat. This was their largest vessel. This one can carry 100 people. There was, however, a very strong smell of petrol on the way there. The seas were pretty smooth until about halfway where it got quite rough. And so, yeah, you'll see a sign in a minute that warns people not to smoke because the fumes were really overpowering. Luckily, we had a window seat, so a little bit of fresh air. Yeah, there's that sign. So anyway, 35 to 40 minutes later, we were landing at the Lembongan Island. So when you arrive at the Rocky Fast Boat jetty, you get off and then you just wait for your luggage to be brought down to you. Once you get your luggage, you just wait around for your taxi driver to call out your accommodation's name, and then you follow him to his taxi and you jump on board. Rocky Fast Boat cost us $150, that's for 2 people. It included all transfers and the actual ferry ride, so not too bad. Here we are in the back of a taxi, taking about a 15-minute drive to the main street of Nusa Lembongan. Took about 15 minutes, like I said. Very rough ride, no seatbelts. All the luggage was stuffed under our seats. But quite an adventure, quite an experience. Here's the main street of Nusa Lembongan. It's called Jalan Jangkat Batu. And we're about to get dropped off at the back of our accommodation, which is called Mega Cottages. Mega Cottages, we stayed there like 4 days, 3 nights, cost us $130 per night. There's the front of our cottage, a little freestanding thatched roof cottage, very basic. This is a bathroom. I had a shower, which is a very important thing. The hot water was okay, I must say. A little vanity basin, a little ladder thing to hang your towels up to dry. There's a toilet with a bum gun. Did have a PowerPoint in there. Coming out to the bedroom / living room. Little coffee and tea station, safe. We never used any of safes on our holiday. Bar fridge. Not much storage space. Little towels made into swans there. Aircon, which is very important, and a mosquito net, which is also very important. We did have some ants coming into the cottage, but they must have found the sugar packages. And at night we'd have these gecko lizards, which would make so much racket. You wouldn't believe how noisy those lizards are. They just woke us up. Yeah, there was gaps in the wall, so anything could come through. So yeah, that was a look around our little cottage. And then after that, we unpacked and walked outside and sat on the beach for a while. Took in the view, it was very nice. Perfect day. And we just decided what we're going to do next. So we had a look around the beach. This beach is called Jangkat Batu Beach. And there's a lot of these tourist boats tied up, fishing boats. You had to watch out for those ropes. So when the ropes pulled taut and if you were stepping over them, you'd go flying. So you really had to watch your step. Beach was littered with coral and seaweed and seashells, but no rubbish. It was very clean. Water was sparkling blue, beautiful to dip yourself into. And so it looked like this was going to be a fantastic stay. We just had to decide what to do next. This is Jalan Janggat Batu, the main street of Nusa Lembongan. We're walking along the street trying to work out what we're going to have for dinner. Pretty treacherous walking along the streets, I must say. There's so many motorbikes and there was no footpaths to speak of. So we decided on this seafood barbecue restaurant. Sat down, the prices were reasonable. The only thing wrong was there was someone next door burning off their rubbish, so all the smoke was coming into the restaurant and really burned our eyes. That combined with the noise from the motorbikes and the actual barbecue smoke made it quite unpleasant. But the food tasted great. Let's have a look at the food. Yeah, we had a grilled parrotfish, some grilled prawns and some rice, as you can see, and salad. Quite delicious, and like I said, very reasonably priced. It was about $27 for the two of us. That's 27 Australian dollars. So back home it cost you like 3 times that amount probably. So anyway, we really enjoyed that meal. So here's our first brekkie from Mega Cottages sitting on Jang Batu Beach. And it was free. All you had to do was order what you wanted and they cook it to order. We're often joined by some little dogs, friendly little things. They had collars. They weren't aggressive at all. All they wanted was a bit of food. So they got a bit of our omelette. They wouldn't touch the pancakes though for some reason. Was that a sign of things to come? Don't know. Anyway, after brekkie, we just had a look around, took in the view. Right out there, you can see where the waves are breaking. There's a reef out there. Apparently that's pretty popular for scuba diving and snorkeling. Not something that we planned to do. We were just here to chill out, sort of unwind from the chaos from Kuta and Ubud. Yeah, we just wanted a bit of peace and quiet. Just laze around the pool, sipping cocktails, and walk along the beach, that sort of stuff. There's one of the many tour boats coming in. So all along Janggat Batu Beach, there's a lot of businesses that will teach you to surf and scuba dive, and you can get massages, yoga, there's a gymnasium. But on the other side of the beach, the main road of Jalan Janggat Batu, it's all shops. You'd be amazed how modern some of the shops are, very westernised. So many clothing stores and heaps of restaurants, money changers, yeah, so many eateries, cafes, bars. I wouldn't say nightclubs. It might be a nightclub, I'm not sure, but yeah. And also all the accommodations just right along the beach. So many hotels and little bungalows and things like that. So many choices to decide where to stay and what to do and what to eat. Things were a little bit pricier than on the main island of Bali, mainly because they got to boat all the stuff over here, all the supplies and that, so I guess you gotta understand that that's quite reasonable. But on the whole, much cheaper than back home in Sydney. So yeah, walking along the beach is covered in coral and shells and seaweed. Hardly any rubbish, so they keep the beach really clean. Often the owners of the hotels and that will send workers out to rake up the seaweed to keep it looking pristine, which is a great thing. So I picked up a few pieces. I was looking at it thinking, wow, this would look good in a fish tank. Sort of stuff you buy in an aquarium for about $30 a piece. I took a few pieces home, only small ones, because I was worried about what customs might say, but as long as you wash off the sand, there's a worker up there raking the seaweed too. As long as you wash off all the sand and that, it's fine. And as long as you don't take a heap of coral back. What else? Oh, also you can hire motor scooters on the island. That was the main form of transport, motor scooters and the black taxis. We were looking at hiring a little golf buggy type vehicle to get around the island, but once we saw how hectic the roads were, we just thought, nah, it's not worth it. There were so many motor scooters. It was really disappointing actually, especially at night. You couldn't really walk along the street in safety, especially if it rained, which it did some nights. You'd be trying to avoid the puddles on the road, and there'd be a motor scooter or a taxi zooming past you within inches. So yeah, because apparently you can walk around the whole island in about 2.5 hours, which we didn't test out, and you can ride or drive around it in probably less than an hour. It's that small. But yeah, I was really disappointed at the amount of traffic on the roads. Not so much the local Balinese or local Nusa Lembongan Islanders. It was more the tourists, because they just don't obey, the speed limits and that. They just go as fast as they can basically, and don't worry if they splash you with water from the puddle. So you had to be wary of the traffic. What else? Most days there, the 4 days we were there, was around about 30 degrees, a bit of cloud cover sometimes. Very, very humid. You'd have to expect that. So here's one of the things we had planned to do, a bit of mini golf. Now neither myself or my wife play any form of golf, but we thought this would just be a bit of fun and kill some time. So you're looking at 18 holes, various degrees of difficulty. The overall condition of the course was pretty run down, I must say. It needs a bit of a spruce up. A lot of the artificial grass is worn out. Sometimes you'd be putting and it'd be like a millipede walking across the grass, and you have to wait. Yeah, next door they're doing a bit of renovation, applying those stones to the wall. So yeah, it was a bit of fun. You had a score sheet and a pen to keep track of your score, which was important because me and my wife had a bit of a bet going that whoever came last had to buy dinner. And as it turned out, I won. Over 18 holes, I had a score of 67, and my wife came through with 96, which wasn't too bad, We aren't professional mini golfers, but we had fun, yeah. But during the playing of the golf, my wife did feel a bit under the weather. The heat got to her, so she had to sit down later on and have a bit of a cool drink. And when we got back to the cottage, she had to have a lay down. Yeah, that one was a tricky one, a loop-the-loop. There she is, having a shot. That's pretty good. Take your time. You can see it's pretty worn out, the artificial grass. We were lucky, there was no one else playing at the time. We had the whole course to ourselves. Excuse me. And there's where we had a bit of a drink and a rest. So later that day we had dinner, and we believe this is what gave us Bali belly, those fried bananas there. The food here was okay, but yeah, we think we got sick from those bananas. Anyway, this is a look around our complex, mega cottages. There's a little massage place there, that white building. There's a souvenir shop, and then the restaurant was on the left. Just a few steps out from our veranda to the pool. So it's extremely convenient. There's the office and the restaurant over there. And you can see the beach not far away. So you couldn't get much closer to the beach. Yeah, there's some of the other cottages, the more modern ones with the roofs. Here's me just laying on the sun lounge, chilling out. Had a cocktail and just watching the world go by. Later on, it's got quite crowded. You don't have to stay at mega cottages to use one of these sun lounges. You just got to buy a drink. So that's what some people do. They provide you with the cushions, they provide you with a towel, and then you just order a drink if you want something, or some food even. There's the pool. It was really nice, that pool. Here's another meal that we had the next night. And then it was the end of our trip in Nusa Lembongan. So here's a taxi ride back. yeah, it was a rough old ride back. It was just two of us in this taxi. So he's taking us back to the Rocky Fastboats jetty to catch our fastboat back to the harbour. Overall, we had a great time on Nusa Lembongan Island. Will we come back? Possibly. But since we've been back, there's been news of a few tragedies. I think 3 boats have capsized. A couple of people have lost their lives. So yeah, there's a real risk taking these fast boats. The safety standards aren't really up to scratch. They really should make you wear a life vest once you get on the boat, and then you can take it off when you get off. But because you wouldn't want to be, feeling around in the water if a boat capsizes looking for a life vest. So they could really improve their safety standards. Yeah, since we got back, there's been a couple of earth volcano eruptions and 3 boating tragedies. So luckily we avoided all that. This road was really narrow and this guy was going pretty fast. So yeah, back to the question, will we come back? We might come back here. Nusa Lembongan is actually attached to Nusa Penida by a golden bridge. So here we are on the boat going back to Sanur Harbour. Pretty calm water again, luckily. And the speeds these boats reach are incredible. We've got 4 huge outboard motors. I'm not sure how many knots they can do, but the boat is basically at 30 degrees the whole trip. The front of the boat just lifts right up. And we made sure we had a window seat because of the fumes when we were coming here, but we actually didn't get any fumes going back. So I'm not sure why there were strong petrol fumes on the trip over. So yeah, about 35 minutes to get from Nusa Lembongan Island to Sanur Harbour, depending how fast the captain wants to drive his boat. There's the harbour coming into view, Sanur Harbour. You can see the water's very calm. There was actually recently a boat capsized right near this harbour, just a week ago or so. So Rocky Fast Boats organise for your luggage to be removed, and then a taxi driver's there waiting for you and they take you to your next accommodation, which is what we did. The driver was there, he carried our luggage, loaded it into his taxi, and then took us to our accommodation in Sanur, where we stayed a few more nights. As we pull into the dock, you can see a lot of luggage already to go on the next trip. These boats just continually go back and forth from the islands. So yeah, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next one. See ya.